What's up, everybody? It's the Pickin Winners crew. We're here for week one of our college football, NFL football Pick'em show. Very happy to be joined tonight by Mac, aka Follow My Locks on Twitter, Tyler Tiho, and we got JJ Skids with us. So how's everything? I'm going to start with you over there, Mac. How are you?
Good, Keith. Excited to give out some picks. Ready to roll.
Absolutely. Tyler, how about you, brother? How are you?
Well, I'm doing great coming out of a fantastic weekend for the University of Georgia football team.
Yeah, we'll dive into that in a little bit.
Yes,
before we dive in, everybody out there should know that Tyler is an extremely biased UGA fan. So if he ever gives them as a pick, be prepared. Do your due diligence and find out whether or not you should actually go with them. Skids, how are you? It looks like you might be eating dinner over there.
I actually just finished. Had some nice chicken and mashed potatoes. I want to say it's good to be back. I haven't been here since the initial UFC Pickin Winners podcast, or one of the first couple. I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to talk football. This is my expertise. Let's get it rolling.
Yeah, well, nobody asked me how I was doing, so I'll say I'm doing pretty good. Before we do jump in, make sure that you guys you subscribe, and whether we win you some money or we lose you some money and you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna pay rent this month, comment down below, let us hear it, tell us what you think. So I'm gonna get started with a couple of my picks, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Mac, and we're just gonna move down the line. And so I got my pick of the week. Personally, I'm gonna go with NFL picks. I got the Bucks -7.5 up against the Cowboys. The Bucks, the reigning Super Bowl champions, absolute savages. You got Tom Brady. Look, you're telling me Tom Brady doesn't want to win another ring before he leaves the NFL. He's going to make his retirement very soon. I'm sure everybody's pretty much in agreement with that one, right? How much longer can this guy go for? This could be the final push. Week one, going to start off strong against a pretty weak Cowboys. Do we even know, is Dak playing? I haven't seen any confirmed reports whether or not he's playing this week. And who's their backup? Ben DiNucci. So I'm rolling with Bucks -7.5. I think it's +114 is the line on that one. Not really too sure. It's all over the place. Looking at FanDuel, looking at Barstool Sportsbook, but that's who I'm rolling with. That is my personal pick of the week. Bucks -7.5. Mac, you got a pick of the week for us?
Yeah, I got a couple. I also have. I'll just follow it up with some NFL. I also have Bucks -7. Seeing it looks like it opened at -6.5 for the Bucks. It's now at 7.5.
It's at 8.
I also see 8 at a couple different books. DraftKings, BetMGM looks like it's at 8. I think Bucks fans are fired up. It's going to be a packed crowd. Last year was the year of the coronavirus, so everybody in Tampa is ready to get on board and support their team since they weren't able to last year. All 22 starters for the Bucks are back. They re-signed Ndamukong Suh. They franchise tagged Chris Godwin, which a lot of people forgot about last year, was injured. Should help Tom Brady out a lot, just having another weapon. And they're on an 8-game win streak going back to last year. I think the last game they lost was against the Chiefs, which was a really close field goal. I think Chiefs won by a field goal. And then obviously they beat him in the Super Bowl. So I also like the Bucks -7. I think they're also -4 first half. Like I said, the crowd's going to be fired up. So, I think they come out in the first half and lay it on the Cowboys. And then I also have Dolphins +3 at New England. I think Mac Jones, I went to Bama, so I'm same thing. Just so you guys know, any of my Bama picks are very biased. But I got to see both Mac Jones and Tua play a lot in college. I've seen them both play, every game they've ever played in their career. So rookie QB in his first start of the regular season, I think he's going to struggle. There's probably going to be some growing pains. The Dolphins defense is one of the best in the NFL. They have, Xavier Howard, best corner in the league. Byron Jones, underrated, definitely a top 5 corner in the league. Tua, never seen him look healthier than he did in preseason. I know it's preseason, but just the way with the ball was coming out of his hand just seems like he's super ready to go. Dolphins also had the most interceptions last season, I think tied with the Steelers and maybe the Saints. the defense won us a ton of games last year, and the offense is definitely going to improve with Waddle, fixing up the O-line a little bit. So that's my other pick, Dolphins +3, and I'm also on the money line.
That's awesome. I didn't even see that Bucks -4 first half line, but guess what, I'm going to be rolling with you on that. And the Dolphins, can't agree more. I really, really like the Dolphins this year, especially week 1. Maybe if Mac and Cheese, as recently released Cam Newton wasn't calling him, was, not the starting quarterback, maybe they'd have a little bit more of a chance. But, between those two guys, I don't really like the Pats this week either way. So, it's going to be a rough one. I think it's going to be another rough season in New England. Tyler, what are the picks that you feel most confident about this week?
As far as the NFL, like I'm looking, firing from the hip, Packers are -4 against the Saints this weekend. The Saints with, I believe, they named Jameis Winston the starter. Yeah, so you have the Saints, even though they might be at home, you have the Saints with Jameis Winston. It's probably going to affect Kamara's production for sure, just because, I feel like it's just when Drew came out last year, his production dropped a ton. So I'm going to be interested to see how they go about that. Also, Keith made this point before, Devontae Adams is a contract year for the Green Bay Packers. Keith took him first overall pick. Keith had the first pick in our draft, and he took Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
so,
I did. I'm confident in him.
Yeah.
And I got the Packers -4. Yeah, I got the Packers -4 this week too.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that pick. I love that line. Jameis Winston, I've never been confident in him ever as a starting quarterback, except maybe his days back in FSU when he was steamrolling everybody. But with the Saints, absolutely not. Packers -4. It's going to be a massive year. There's guys looking to make big money. Aaron Rodgers potentially looking to go somewhere else, make that big money. Devontae Adams on a contract year. Like you said, my whole logic behind taking him first overall in our fantasy draft, the Packers are going to have a big week. They're going to have a big, big season. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop you right there. You are Captain Insano. Not a good take. Also, just because I'm coming out of the fantasy draft, you know what I'm saying? The juices are flowing, you know what I'm saying? Devontae Adams, #1 in any league, you can give me fucking 2 points per reception. If I hear Devontae Adams goes #1, I laugh at that manager. That is a poverty owner. I hate to say it, and I hate to lay down the law, but that's what it is. My pick of the week, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Birds, baby, but not in a good way. All right. We've played the Falcons countless years now, and countless years, for some reason, they seem to have our number. You know what? We're going into the Georgia Dome this Sunday. It's not good news. However, we have a little light shining down on us. Chick-fil-A isn't open on Sundays, baby. They made a mistake putting that sucker in there. The Eagles are going to walk in. They're going to win the first half money line, and then they're going to win the game, but that's not my pick. I'm going to go ahead and go Falcons. I think they're -3.5. No, they're +3.5
on DraftKings.
Oh, they're -3.5.
The Eagles are getting +3.5.
Oh my God! Take that. Take that to the fucking bank. Take it to the bank. Go to the fucking cashier and say, "Hey, put the money in the bag. I want the Falcons. Whatever that's called. Stamp it."
Spread. Dude, here's the thing. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm an Eagles supporter at best. I just like because the Eagles fan energy, like you just gave me, cracks me up.
Wasn't in a good way, though.
Literally you say, "Oh, go Birds," but the Falcons are gonna cover this.
I'm just concerned with the Eagles defense. I think their offense will be fine. Jalen Hurts is gonna be able to game manage his way into some wins. I think Devontae Smith will be great, but that defense looked terrible in the preseason, even with their starters in against the Patriots backups.
If you're looking at their offense, they have Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts and Mike Davis. I think maybe we could contain Mike Davis, but I'm not gonna lie, that boy out of Florida. Go Gators, baby. Not a Gators fan. Go UNC. We suck. However, Kyle Pitts is coming in with a chip on his shoulder, ready to catch some passes. And I'm going to be frank with you. as an Eagles fan, we don't got the firepower, baby. He's going for 100. Give him 10 receptions and 2 tutties. Stamp it.
Well, you want to talk smack about my fantasy draft? I also have Kyle Pitts. So
I took him in 3 leagues. It's a great pick. If you can get James Robinson, if you can get your hands around that slippery James Robinson, I want you to grab him. I want you to start him at your flex every single fucking week you got. Every week you got in you. Get James
I think
Robinson
Calvin Ridley's primed for a big year too. You know, he's
Dude,
finally the receiver
like
number
top
one.
off the defense. Like it's
Kyle Pitts should open up the offense a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Calvin Ridley is like, it's in a way, just because like he plays for the Falcons, not respected as a deep threat that he truly is. But if they can find a way to make that work, in the ball downfield,
route runners in the NFL.
He's gonna put money in people's pockets who decide to take the Falcons this year.
Yep.
I don't know.
Calvin Ridley go to Bama? Or no, wait, did Calvin? Oh, his brother went to Georgia. His brother went to Georgia.
Yeah, Riley.
His brother was the wide receiver at Georgia. He went to Bama
a couple times.
Yeah. Well, so not only were we getting some good betting picks, but if you haven't done your fantasy draft yet, I think we just with some fantasy wisdom as well. So I got a couple other NFL picks. I'm just going to run through them real quick, right? Mm-hmm. So Tyler already mentioned the Packers -4. That's what I'm rolling with this week for that game. I also have the Panthers -5 against the Jets. I really, really like the Panthers in this game. It's going to be a showing for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was getting absolutely molested by the Jets organization for the past couple of years of his career. And now he has an opportunity with a team that actually wants to see a quarterback grow. Look at what they did. Cam wasn't completely unsuccessful there, made a Super Bowl trip. I have a feeling Sam Darnold is going to go off this week against the New York Jets. And Jets fans, they're always salty. They're always getting pissed about their green team, the green machine, gangrene, so to speak. I think that's what they call them. They're just going to be upset again this season. The Jets aren't primed to do anything. It is what it is. They drafted well, but Jets, dude, it's the Jets. I'm going with the Panthers -5. I've also got the Chiefs -6.5 against the Browns. The Browns have no confidence in them absolutely whatsoever. Odell Beckham Jr. is still questionable. Jarvis Landry, yeah, he's a threat, but he's not that guy, really. He's not the guy to take over. Their defense is going to be really good this year, but I'm still thinking that the Chiefs are going to go out there and annihilate the Browns. You have this stellar Chiefs offense led by the perennial Patrick Mahomes. They're going to be a contender again this year. Week 1, it's like the same thing I've been saying for everybody else. Week 1 is always a showing for some of these teams, and it's it's a big indicator for how their season is going to go. And the Chiefs are going to absolutely steamroll the Browns. Plus,
just to play devil's advocate, I do want to just bounce in here for a second.
Go for it.
You take a look at the playoff game between the Browns and the Chiefs. Honestly, I think it was a lot closer than people thought. They were a play away from at least pushing into overtime.
I would agree. They let it get away from them, but
yeah, I don't think a lot has changed on that Browns defense other than the signings they've made, and I just think their defense only got better. Their offense is gonna get better now that they're getting Odell back in the mix, whether he's healthy or not. I am not super confident in that pick, but I respect it.
Thank you for your respect. I do appreciate that. I'd rather be respected than loved or feared. So I'm still rolling with the Chiefs, regardless of what you said. Yeah, the Browns defense, they're money, but Mahomes, he's got it all. And, they've just got so many weapons for him out there. As always, Andy Reid still coaching, one of the best game planners out there in the NFL. So Chiefs -6.5. And then my last pick that I'm going with, I've got the Giants +2.5. Now, this, on my end, a little bit of bias for sure. I'm a Giants fan, lifelong Giants fan. I mean, how many people can say that they got to see their team win 2 Super Bowls in their lifetime? I don't think anybody else on here can say that. And guess what? I got to go to the parades as a little kid. So, hey, raise your hand if your team has won 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime. No, just me.
Not one.
Okay. So, yeah, it might be a little bit of bias here, but then you look at the Broncos. The Broncos have like Teddy Bridgewater, I think, starting at quarterback.
Yeah, they're starting Teddy two gloves over Drew Lock.
Yeah, and Saquon Barkley is coming back for the Giants, correct?
Is he starting this weekend?
Yeah.
He's questionable. He's questionable right
Taking
now.
all the reps?
Yeah, well, either way, you know what? You put the rock in Saquon Barkley's hands. I know some people out there love Penn State. They love Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, you put the rock in his hands. We all know what he can do. He shakes tackles. He barrels through guys like they're not even there. Tyler, our other buddy Jared, he's on Saquon Barkley's highlight tape. So Saquon Barkley always has a special place in my heart for making Jared look like a fool. So you know what? I have a feeling this could be not another great year for the Giants, but a great year for the Giants. They'll probably end with maybe like 9-10 wins possibly. I'm rolling with the Giants plus 2.5. I think they're going to absolutely demolish the Broncos. The Broncos defense is incredible. They are really they're nothing to be fucked with. Nobody really can touch the Broncos defense except this week. Daniel Jones is going to find a way to light them up. Saquon Barkley, you put the rock in his hands, and he's going to make Von Miller look like he wasn't even out there on the field. So Giants plus 2.5. I'm curious, Mac, what do you think about that Giants pick?
I like it. I actually was looking at I like the Giants I don't know why they're plus 450 to win that division, but I feel like they should be at least ahead of the Redskins. I'm not sold on the Redskins offense. Fitzpatrick, this Gibson guy that everybody's talking about. Football team, sorry. Washington football team. Washington football team is plus 220. Cowboys are plus 135. They're a Dak injury away from losing every single game. So I'd like, just as a flyer, I like the Giants to win the NFC East.
That's a great future because I cannot see the Philadelphia Eagles doing it. I can't see the Cowboys doing it, and absolutely can't see the football team doing it. So at this point, it almost feels like the Giants could be a shoo-in for that division.
On the other hand, just to play devil's advocate a little bit, I guess I do personally like Teddy Bridgewater, just as a game manager. I think he's much better than Drew Lock. The Broncos defense, you can always count on being decent, top 15 in the league. They get what's his name back, Cortland Sutton, who's going to be a big part of their offense, who's injured all of last year. They have that other running back, I think Freeman, who's a beast. Did they trade Philip Lindsay?
Yes, Philip Lindsay
still have him
now.
Right now they got Javonte Williams leading the backfield with Melvin Gordon.
Another one of my fantasy picks, Williams.
Javonte Williams, yeah, UNC boy, go Heels.
Yeah, Mike like
that. Is Melvin Gordon still on that team, or where'd he go?
He's still there. They're splitting carries.
Yeah, he's there. But I think it's going to be a big year for Williams. Melvin Gordon, his production has definitely slowed down in the past couple of seasons. And Williams has a starting spot really primed up, ready for him to take over there in Denver. So I thought that was a pretty good pick. But
Giants have some serious weapons on their offense. Galladay, they got Elijah. They drafted Elijah Moore, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I love him. Dude out of Ole Miss. He was a beast in college. Saquon coming back. I think they should have a good year. But it is the Giants. I saw Daniel Jones throw an interception on the goal line in the preseason. That was terrible. So it's really all up to Daniel Jones. I feel like how their team does. If he's the real deal, if he's the franchise quarterback, then and he has a good year, then they'll have a good year.
Well, I'll say one last thing about the Giants, and then we can move on to some other picks. Those years that the Giants did win the Super Bowl, Eli Manning, he was a multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback. Guess what? He was subpar. It was their defenses that really carried them. It was the guys that he had with him on the offense that really carried him. So, you know what? Maybe we'll have a little bit of a flashback to what the Giants used to be back in their heyday, and we won't even really need to rely on our quarterbacks so much. Tyler, do you have any other picks for us this week?
I just added up two while we were looking. I've set the Packers. Sneaky Jacksonville is -3 against the Texans, with Tyrod Taylor just named the starter for the Texans this weekend over Deshaun Watson.
Oh, all right. I'm putting that one in. I'm taking
that. So the DraftKings, this is like the odds I'm using to make these picks, has the line at -3 currently in favor. Jacksonville's -3, and that's just for me. I feel like the Houston offense, even with Deshaun Watson, was a dumpster fire at best. With as great of a quarterback as Deshaun Watson is, they still were not great. And Tyrod Taylor is injury prone. He is when healthy, a very, I would say, average quarterback. Not great, not horrible. He's a very average at best. But I just think that Trevor Lawrence is ready to have his rookie debut, sling it over the yard. I like Jacksonville -3. I can't say I'd be taking Jacksonville a lot this year, but against the Houston Texans without Deshaun Watson, I can get down with that. Also, looking farther ahead, I'm sure there'll probably be some line movement by the time this game happens. But the Ravens are -4 against the Raiders. Baltimore is -4 against the Raiders right now. I know we're recording this Monday night. No, is Monday? It's Labor Day. Yeah, it's Monday. So that's a week away. The line may move. I'm sure it's going to move heavy once people realize that the Ravens are, less than a touchdown favorite over the Raiders. So that's a tasty line to keep an eye on as the week rolls on. Yeah, I liked everything else you guys were saying too, but I also want to throw Jacksonville in the mix for -3.
Yeah, I really like that Ravens pick as well.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, not to talk too much about fantasy, picked up Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is going to be getting the rock so much this season. The Ravens running backs seem to just be dropping like flies.
Mm-hmm.
They had another injury today. They had J.K. Dobbins tear his ACL out for the season. So, again, if you haven't done your fantasy draft just yet, Gus Edwards is probably a really good pick, and you can get him in like the 4th, 5th round. So, he's going to be one of my starting running backs this season. Mac, what other picks you got for us? And then after you go with your NFL ones, then we'll move on to college.
Yeah, so I actually don't mind taking the Raiders in that game. +4.5. I think, nobody in the league can guard Darren Waller. He's a huge problem. So last year, he completely tore up the NFL. Josh Jacobs, same thing. They're going to run the ball a lot. And like you said, the Ravens have a ton of injuries. I think it could be a regression year for them. I don't know yet. We haven't necessarily seen any team figure out how to stop Lamar Jackson. So be interesting to see what they do this year. But I just think their offense, they just haven't been able to give Lamar enough weapons. Their defense is always great. They have the best kicker in the league. So whenever they get in field goal range, they're going to get a field goal. But I think Monday night, Raiders at home, new stadium, that could be, that's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a good game.
I'm not as sold on the pick as you are, Tyler. I'm certainly not as sold on the pick. But, Mac, you made some excellent points there. But, Tyler,
I like Rams, too. I think I'm going to add Rams -7. I always like to stay inside football numbers, by the way, especially if the line, there's a huge difference between 7.5.
I agree with that completely.
With the spreads.
Yeah.
I think the Rams are going to kill the Bears if everything works out like it's supposed to be. They should have one of the best defenses in the league. They should have an even better offense than they did last year with Matt Stafford coming in. Tyler Higbee's going to have a huge year. I think they're going to kill the Bears.
I, for one, as a UGA fan, am so unbelievably excited to watch Mr. Matthew Stafford play football for a good team. I am so excited. He also has Sony Michel. I didn't know this. The Rams picked up Sony Michel. Oh,
boys.
I just hate Rams running. Like, I would never pick a Rams running back just because
I'm just saying.
Every year it's Darrell Henderson on the. You don't know who's going to run the ball in.
I took Robert Woods on my fantasy team because he was the king of receptions.
Yep.
With Jared
he takes handoffs too. They do jet sweeps to him and stuff.
Yeah,
he gets rushing yards
all the time. And Matt Stafford, when he is given the opportunity to win a football game, he does. When the Detroit Lions gave him that very few chances, he wins football games. And he's one of the tougher quarterbacks in the league. He will hit you in the mouth and ask for more. I am just very excited for Matthew Stafford to play football for a good team. And I do like the Rams to beat the brakes off the Bears.
Yeah.
Lions fans are some of the most loyal fans. I don't know how you support that team after some of the years that they, especially in that division, having to play against Aaron Rodgers every year. I'm a Dolphin fan, so we're the kings of mediocrity too. I can't speak much. I think we have like a 500 record over the past 30 years or something like that. We still have the undefeated season that nobody will ever do, but I haven't seen the only time I've seen a playoff game in my lifetime is when Tannehill got hurt and Matt Moore came in and we got beat by 50 points by the Steelers in the first round. So it's the best Dolphins team that I've got to see.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of years for you as a fan. Do you have any more NFL picks for us, Mac?
No, that's it for NFL. Ready for college football though.
All right, so before we move on to college football, I do know that Skids, his phone died. Now he's back. Happy to see you again, Jared. He's got some NFL props, I think he said you got. What do you got for us in that department?
So I like a parlay. As a fantasy guy, I love my running back touchdown props. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you to parlay 3 RB props, and you're going to make a ton of money off of them. I don't exactly know what the odds are, but you'll at least make 10 times your money. So I'm going to go ahead and say parlay 3 guaranteed anytime touchdown scores this week. Go ahead and mark down Najee Harris on that offense. Who else are they giving the ball to? You look at the season James Conner had a few years ago when he was a rookie. Najee Harris is way more talented, and Big Ben is way more out of his prime. So go ahead and say Najee Harris, guaranteed anytime touchdown score.
I like that.
Parlay that with an Alvin Kamara guaranteed anytime touchdown score. The odds aren't going to be great for that, but you're looking at this team. Michael Thomas is out. Jameis Winston's at the helm. They're going to be running a lot. They're going to be jumping it off a lot. Even if you get Taysom Hill in the game, he might steal a touchdown or two. I just don't see Kamara going on that early season touchdown slump like he did last year. So I'm going to go ahead and bang Najee Harris anytime touchdown score, Alvin Kamara anytime touchdown score, and then the one that's going to shake up the parlay, Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown score.
I love the Colts.
Love that.
Yeah. He is a touchdown machine, especially late in the season last year. I'm pretty sure in the wild card game, he had 2 touchdowns. And to end the year, he had 6 or something in the last 4 games. Yeah, he tweaked. Honestly, the offense is running through him right now. I don't know if Carson Wentz is going to be back for week 1 or not. And if he's not, Jonathan Taylor's getting the ball. You can bank on him getting the touchdown. Go ahead and parlay all 3 of them. Put $10 on it. You're walking away with at least 30. I don't even know what the odds are.
To piggyback off that Najee Harris pick, I don't know what the odds are. I'm not looking at it right now, but Benny Snell could be their guy in the red zone. I'm not 100% sure. Najee's kind of a do-it-all guy. He can catch, he can run. He's good in short distance, long distance, but Benny Snell is great. I think he's second on the depth chart right now. He was really good in college. Took a lot of snaps last year. So Benny Snell could be a good anytime touchdown scorer as well.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm definitely rolling with Skids' parlay there. I love it.
Tasty. That's very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. And I hope all the people at home are tailing that as well responsibly. Don't go and put this month's rent on it because we don't want you getting evicted.
I will say if any of those legs make you a little nervous, go ahead and swap in a Travis Kelce touchdown or a Devontae Adams touchdown if it makes you more comfortable. Yeah.
Oh, Devontae Adams, not a good fantasy pick.
Great fantasy pick, just not a number 1 guy. Maybe 6 or 7, but you got to think about it. Fantasy football is a running backs game. You got to roll with the running back unless it's
he's too injury prone too.
Yeah.
You weren't even
He gets hurt every year. He does something to his ankle.
He is an electric factory when he's on. He is a little hit or miss.
He's the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Touchdown a game
for sure.
He's good for a touchdown a game if he's healthy.
Skids, you weren't here for it before, but I said that I got a bit of a sleeper running back, and that was Gus Edwards. He's going to be getting the rock for the Ravens so much this season because all of their running backs are dropping like flies. Plus, he's a hometown product for me, so I'm a big fan of Gus. He's going to have an explosive breakout year. I don't think I missed out anything by picking him I think it was the 4th round.
Yeah. Oh, that's a little early. That is a little early. I would say Gus and Mike Davis are both good sleeper picks if you're getting that running back late. Mike Davis tore it up on the Panthers last year when CMC got hurt. Falcons moved on from Gurley. You got Mike Davis in the backfield in Atlanta. They're going to be spreading the ball out. You know Mike Davis is good for them short yards, them touchdowns, them nitty-gritties. He's going to get out there, lower his shoulder, and run through a motherfucking chest.
I love it. All right. Well, with all that being said, Mac, I know you got some college football plays for us, so let's hear what you got.
Yeah, so my first one, and you guys might have to hurry up for this one because it opened at -3.5 for Texas against Arkansas. I wrote it down yesterday. It's at -4. It's already at -6.5. Arkansas was in a dogfight against Rice this past weekend. Up until the fourth quarter, I think they outscored them like 21-0 in the fourth. Obviously, they lost Felipe Franks, who was great for them last year. Single-handedly won them a ton of games. Not sold on Arkansas's head coach yet. He has a 4-7 record as a head coach, so not great. And then Texas, playing UL Lafayette this past weekend, Raging Cajuns, who's a team that I think they returned maybe 21 starters from last year when they had an amazing season. So they're not a bad team, and Texas ran up the score on them. Their new quarterback, Hudson Card, is great. I saw him make some crazy plays. I think he played wide receiver in high school in the beginning, so he's an athlete. Bijan Robinson, could be a dark horse to win the Heisman this year if he keeps it up. I think he won Big 12 Player of the Week. He had like 176 yards on the ground. He caught some passes. I think he had like 4 catches for 100 yards, 75 yards, something like that. So love Texas, -4, -6, -7, whatever you can get against Arkansas. I think they blow them out. I also like Toledo, +17 against Notre Dame. So Toledo is the favorite to win the MAC this year. They return, I think, 21 starters as well. They averaged 35 points a game last year. They had 49 in their first game this year. If anybody watched the Notre Dame game last night, they did not look good. Their defense isn't good. They lost 14 players that were picked in the NFL. Ian Book is the best quarterback that they've ever had in school history. So not completely sold on this Jack Cohn guy yet. He made some good throws, but also made some bad decisions. Wisconsin moved on from him for their dude for whatever reason. And then the Notre Dame defense, they gave up 500 yards to Florida State, who is a rebuilding team. 19 first downs. I think the line opened at 19.5 for Notre Dame, and it's already been steamed down to like 16. So I love Toledo +17 against Notre Dame.
I like that pick as well because like any Notre Dame player watching, Brian Kelly say that they should all be executed. I know he thought that was in good taste and that was funny, but guess what? Come today, probably I'm sure that they had meetings and maybe even some practice today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure those players didn't like that all too much, seeing that they should have their heads chopped off in the town square if it was up to Brian Kelly. Maybe if he did that, he wouldn't even have a team because, they should all be executed. Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Play better football, don't get your head chopped off. Been saying it
That
since
dude number 14, I think it's Hamilton or something like that, the guy that had 2 interceptions. He's insane. He's like 6'4", 220. He's safety. He's faster than anybody. Best player on the field at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. But I love that. I love that Toledo pick, and I definitely see them covering the spread, and I definitely see it moving closer in their favor, not in bettor's favor,
Sure.
but closer in their favor as the week goes on. Tyler, you got any? I'm sorry, Mac. Do you have any more picks for us in the college realm, or those are your 2 that you're going with this week?
Yeah, so I got 2 more. I have a contrarian one, a bit of a contrarian play. I like Oregon against Ohio State. What did it open at? Opened at 10 for -10.5 for Ohio State. It's gone up to 14 now. So I love Oregon +14.5, especially if it keeps going up. I don't know what sharps, the only people betting on games really right now are sharps. So I don't know what they saw out of Ohio State against Minnesota that makes them think they're going to beat Oregon by 2 touchdowns. CJ Stroud is average at best. I think he's going to have some serious growing pain. He made that one terrible interception against Minnesota that won me my first half bet that brought them back into the game for a little while. Guy was running wide open across the middle of the field, and he just threw it 2 yards behind him and got an interception. Ohio State has probably the best O-line in the country, so that's the only thing that really scares me. I don't know if Oregon's defense can hold up. They do have that guy, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's going to be probably top 5 draft pick. He's by far the best edge rusher in college football. So if anybody can fuck up an offense's game plan, it's going to be that guy. I think he sprained his ankle last week, but he'll be fine for this weekend. And then I have one more, Oklahoma State -13 against Tulsa. This is really just me fading Tulsa this year. I think their 2020 season was a complete fluke. They beat UCF. They beat teams that no one expected them to beat last year. They lost. I don't know if you guys saw. They lost to UC Davis this past week, an FCS team. So I think they're just due for regression. Didn't love what I saw to Oklahoma State either. Like they played Missouri State and it was sort of a close game, but it is week 1, so there's going to be growing pains for a lot of teams. I think you can look at a lot of the box scores and stuff and kind of get the wrong impression just because it was a close game. It's still week 1. There's a lot of things that they have to sort out. They have a dude, Oklahoma State has a dude, Illingsworth, Shane Illingsworth. He's 6'7", 250. He's huge. He's great. I think he's going to be eventually one of the best quarterbacks in that division in the Big 12. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State -13.
You said he's a quarterback at that size? Jesus Christ. I wish
6.5 is what he's listed at.
Wow.
He's throwing down at people. Just over the top. My goodness.
That's crazy.
If anybody can see over the O-line, it's him. He's no Drew Brees having to peek over.
How tall was Brock Osweiler? Was he like 6'7", 6'8"?
Yeah, he was about that height too.
Brock Osweiler. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
How tall is Josh Allen? He's got to be like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's up there. Brock Osweiler got paid way too much to do nothing.
Made out like a freaking bandit.
He came to the Dolphins. That was the worst football I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I respect you for staying with the Dolphins all these years because they've tested you.
For sure.
They got
it's
nice
tough.
uniforms. Their throwbacks are
always nice.
They finally figured out you just got to draft Bama players and you'll get better.
SEC, baby. People need to know.
They got rid of Minka for some reason, but
that was like
too.
He didn't want to be with us though. Like he was he just requested a trade. Like he thought
Howard might dip on you guys too, low key.
No, he's back. They said they already renegotiated the contract. He's good.
Okay.
He was just pissed that Byron Jones got more money than him.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah. So just moving on up, Tyler Tiho, you got any college football picks for us this week?
I just eyed up 2, and I want to float him past Mac because he's even more of a college football guy than me. It sounds like Buffalo. Buffalo is a good team in my opinion in their division. They are playing out of their division and playing Nebraska, and it's currently plus 13.5. Do you like them to maybe keep it close against Nebraska?
I do. I think I do. I'm going to take a look really quick at the lines.
See how that moves, but that's just a little interesting.
Yeah.
Buffalo's a really solid team. They get good recruits because they know they're going to just beat the brakes off everybody in their division.
Yep.
They run up a score. And Nebraska's just been below standard for I don't know how long.
If they lose that game, Scott Frost has to be fired.
Yeah, I think that Buffalo – I don't think they'll win, but I think they have a chance to cover.
Maybe.
That's tough. And also another interesting line is University of Pittsburgh, University of Tennessee is only a 4-point spread. And
That's what I was going to say.
I know that Tennessee is really good at they played Bowling Green last week, and they looked very pedestrian in the first quarter.
And Bowling Green is a bad football team.
They did not look good at all. Their defense is not very solid. Their quarterback play has never been since probably Peyton Manning, if we're being honest. Has never been very solid. I don't know. I just think that it's Pittsburgh and Tennessee. I don't know. That's just interesting to look at. I don't, when it comes to for me in college football, I also like to look at the total score. I do like the Oregon spread that you mentioned as well. Let's see. I'm also a big fan of just betting Big Ten unders. Those seem to fare pretty well because Big Ten takes the air out of the ball like all the time. But yeah, as of right now, looking ahead, I'm very interested in that Buffalo plus 13.5 against Nebraska.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because that could move a little bit too.
Yeah. I like that
So
one.
Texas over Arkansas is also a great pick. Arkansas, good lord, I don't know who's worse in the SEC. I think it goes to Vanderbilt, but Arkansas is right down there with them. My lord,
Yeah.
I think Vanderbilt just lost to Eastern Tennessee State by 14 last week, but they boost our conference GPA, so like they can stay. It's whatever.
Yeah,
The Harvard of the South.
Playing football, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I think for football. Does anybody have any I know we were talking futures just overall. I mean, Keith, sorry, let me not get how Keith, Skids, do you have anything for college football?
I like Georgia with a national championship appearance.
Appearance?
I don't know if they're gonna win, but I like the appearance.
I don't listen. Here's the thing about being a Georgia fan. I've explained this to Keith multiple times. We don't believe in having hope. We take hope and tell it to go somewhere. Like it's
like at the end of the day, though, even if you lose,
stomped on.
Even if you lose in the SEC championship, you're guaranteed the playoffs.
As long as we don't lose, as long as you don't pull us and lose to South Carolina or one of those teams mid-season, like we love to do. We like to drop a game out of nowhere we play Auburn every year too. Auburn's on our schedule every year, and so we have to go through them every time too. And they're always, you don't know what you're going to get.
The Georgia defense was really good though. Like they were
Bama. Clemson also was good too, but if we went out and only lose to Bama in the SEC championship, I could see us making the playoffs.
I just think this story of this kid who's at Georgia playing quarterback right now is just like something we've seen before, and it sounds – I'm not going to gas him up. I'm not. But he could have a fucking Joe Burrow year. No shit. Like, he could have a Joe Burrow year.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
As a fan of the team, he was a top recruited quarterback. He's actually graduated early to go play at USC. I think it was him.
He played with ukulele in high school.
And graduated high school, I think, early to go play at USC. And watching him play last year and watching him play, he is a USC quarterback.
Yeah, he can't move.
Pocket passer, drop back, and make your reads because he cannot move. No, the man cannot move. I mean, we've never.
Well, his knee. I'm pretty sure his leg got dicked up.
Oh well, yeah, year. But even he's a great arm. He can throw the ball a quarter mile. But yeah, I don't like to get high on us because then they just rip it away from me. So that's just me being having Georgia's warped my view of enjoying college football. But yeah, no, JT Daniels is a very solid quarterback. He still has some room left to prove, but yeah, he definitely is gearing up for, I think, a very solid campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of USC, I like this. Sorry, Keith. Speaking of USC, I think I like them -14 against Stanford this week. It's a late game, 10:30 on Saturday, but I love USC. Keaton Slovis is a great quarterback. They have a ton of recruits that are supposed to be really good. Did they play week one?
They played last week. Did they not play? Like, I don't hear about them.
So. I do not believe so.
They did.
Oh yeah,
they didn't.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, they did. They played San Jose State. They beat San Jose State 30-7.
Oh, that's not a game to watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's that's another thing with these college football lines starting out is there's so many random games. Like Alabama plays Mercer this week.
Take the first half, whatever it is. The lines haven't came out for that game. Just take the first half,
take whatever it is. Take Bama. Take whatever Bama is and throw money at it. Also, Iowa.
Team total State, first half.
They play this week. Iowa State. That's gonna be a fun game to watch. I think both are very sneaky good teams. Like
Iowa State struggled against a bad team this past. It is week one.
Iowa looks good against a team they probably shouldn't have beat. But
that'll be a good game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game. Does anybody have anything else for college football? I also want to talk about futures for the fans before we get off.
Yeah, I mean, just make them quick because, we do want to keep this pretty short and sweet for the people at home watching on YouTube.
I have two.
All right, let them hear it.
I have Micah Parsons, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and there was a sneaky, the Comeback Player of the Year award.
Mm-hmm.
Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. He's the guard for the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year, he's a doctor. He is a medical doctor from Canada.
He left to help
He left to go help the fight against COVID-19. And what better story is that for him to come back and play football for the Chiefs? He was plus 1,000 when I put the money on it. Look at him. And those.
The only thing with that is if Dak has a decent year, he's going to win it no matter what.
Yeah,
if he stays healthy.
It's a sneaky pick.
Yeah, that's a great pick, but I wouldn't risk too much money on that just because
I would throw a very minimum amount of money on it.
Exactly. Yeah. If Dak finishes the season, he's going to win it.
I threw very little on it, but it just a nice, little.
That is a good pick.
Big odds boost to just kind of look at. Anyway, that's my 2 cents there.
All right. Does anybody else have any futures they want to throw in real quick? No.
I'll throw in, I don't know what the line's at now. It might have moved down to like 350, 400, but Bryce Young to win the Heisman.
Oh, that's a really good pick. I like that a lot, actually. I got Joey Bosa, and this is kind of out of left field. I got to peep the odds real quick. I locked it in the other day. I got Joey Bosa to lead the NFL in sacks at plus 1,550.
Wow.
Either of the Bosas, I like that pick. Throw some money on Nick, too.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot, though, personally. And then I also – and, some people are going to disagree, but I also really like Josh Allen to lead the NFL in passing touchdowns. We got to see. Maybe his weapons will get vaccinated. Maybe they won't. But that's at plus 875. So if he's got a full receiving core going for him this year, I have a feeling that Josh Allen's going to have a massive year. So we're all good, fellas. Does anybody else have anything they want to throw in before we wrap this up?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I can't wait to keep this thing going. I'm so happy football's back, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can almost smell the football in the air. You can hear that football pigskin whizzing past your ear as it goes by in the air. It's fall, fellas. What's better than football in the fall? All right, well, with all that being said, make sure, again, that you like, you subscribe. I mean, you made it through this whole fucking video if you're hearing me say this. If you're not liking and subscribing at this point, then what are you doing? Also, comment down below what you think. If you've got any picks that you want to air out, maybe we missed something, and you want to let us know down below, let the other people in the comments section make some money as well as with our picks. Let them hear it. Or if we lost you a ton of money and, you're coming back on Monday, let us know down there as well. And no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to lose you money, so shut the fuck up. Fellas, thanks for joining me tonight. Mac, Tyler, Skids, it was a great episode. Really appreciate you giving me your Monday night on Labor Day. Have a great night, fellas.
You too, boys.